when Amazon started becoming a consumer goods platform, right? It started with books, but later on it started. I remember when they kept on saying, "Okay, we're opening up a new division, gardening and like outdoor furniture." Like they keep on adding different categories. When I got onto Amazon for the first time, they had 3 or 4 categories total. No, you have just a long laundry list, right? So it's a matter of time. The same way where people went away from buying in stores and starting to buy online, this is the same thing with TikTok, was where like they have to gain that trust, and it will take some time, but eventually they'll get that. But with a TikTok creator or somebody that comes starts selling, not a creator, or somebody that starts selling on TikTok and they never sold anywhere else, it's like today's generation, we try to look for, we're gonna make an easy buck, right? Or what looks easy to make money, right? Amazon, it's not easy anymore. It used to be easy. It's not easy anymore at all, right? So their only shot is like, okay, they're great at video, they're great at all these things because that generation lives on the phone, lives on technology, lives on all that. Like that's the easiest way to get a buck, to make $1 is like, let me just post it on, let me open up a TikTok shop account and let me start selling a TikTok shop. So it's the same cycle where Amazon was 10, 12, 13 years ago. It's the same cycle where it's happening with TikTok. So it's very interesting how it's going the same way, but it's a different type of platform. It's not a marketplace. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my question, and just sort of, I guess, my musing is like, but are the same people going to shop on TikTok who are shopping on Amazon? Is there a generational divide that makes that like not accessible for them? Amazon is still hosted on a browser. You don't have to access it on your phone, but you do have to access TikTok on your phone. So generationally, do we think that TikTok's going to get the same lift as the everyday user who's using an Amazon browser to buy their product?
I think it's a good question. And truthfully, I don't know the answer, but I think adoption takes time. Like I look at my grandparents 10 years ago. They're like, Amazon, what are you ordering things online? That's crazy. And now my grandmother is getting an Amazon package every other day.
Sure.
So if we have this conversation in 10 years, I talk about TikTok Shop, people are like, buying from videos, what? But we can have that conversation in 10 years and it can become the new norm. When your question about generational, I think when you look at the data, there actually is a ton of buyers on TikTok Shop between the ages of like 25 and 45. There's a great chunk there. But to your point, I do think it is a bit of like a generational gap, right? So on TikTok Shop, a lot of these creators are young. So I think people buy from what's relatable to them. We saw brands shift from, celebrity influencers, these big influencers, to micro creators because they're more relatable. So I think if you're selling to young people and you have young people being your creators, they're going to see that as this product is geared to me. So I do think TikTok and a lot of brands are geared towards young people because that is who is on the platform.
That makes sense. So let's do the mandatory then question of, if we're having this conversation a year from now, what is TikTok and TikTok Shop looking like to you?
It's a good question. If we were to have this conversation a year from now, I think that it won't be a question of, hey, are you on TikTok Shop? It's going to be a question of, how's TikTok Shop going for you? I think it's going to become more of an assumption and more of something like, okay, you kind of have to be there rather than are you? And I think we see that all the time. Like Ralph Lauren just launched on TikTok Shop, right? That is a legacy clothing apparel brand. Talking a year ago, we were probably thinking beauty and supplements is what was hot on TikTok Shop. But it's interesting to see the way these legacy brands are getting on. So I think if we look at TikTok Shop a year from now, we are going to see much more legacy brands being on TikTok Shop, not necessarily products that are TikTokable. And I think that we're also going to see a shift with creators. I think right now, even maybe last year, it was a lot easier to just recruit creators and send invites. And I think creators are also, they're playing the game. They understand and they're being a little more specific. They want to work with brands who have a big budget. They want to work with brands who they know there's an opportunity for them to run ads. So I think this time next year, every single brand, many more brands, legacy brands are going to be on TikTok Shop. But I also think the game of working with creators is going to look different. And brands are going to be hiring creators to be brand ambassadors, maybe putting creators on retainers and really having them more so as part of the brand rather than just a one-off creator posting a video here.
So basically, creators are going to start making more money.
I think so too. And I was speaking with some folks from TikTok, and they're recommending, creators stick to their vertical. If you want to be an apparel creator, stick with apparel. Don't do a little bit of everything. So I almost see it as like creators they're becoming their own entrepreneurs. Like they're making a ton of money. They're like, okay, how can I make this work for me? They're picking who do I want to work with, the kind of products I want to choose. So I think, it's just a time of brands and creators learning to work with each other and really seeing what sticks.